Hello, good day, and welcome to this session on role of the warehouse manager. By the end of the session, you should be able to explain the challenges of warehouse managers, explain the required skills of warehouse managers, as well as discuss the people manager role in warehouse management. So to begin with, warehouse management has been quite a daunting task for managers in general because they have to warehouse managers need to have certain skills to manage the resources that they have been given, as well as manage the people who work in the warehouse. And the warehouse manager, even though their task is challenging and they might be stressed with a lot of pressure to effectively and efficiently manage the warehouse from top management, they cannot use that pressure to manage the warehouse in the or on the employees in the warehouse. So they have to ensure that they are maintaining a serene environment, a serene atmosphere where employees are feeling appreciated and then employees are feeling that their effort is being welcomed in the warehouse. So a warehouse manager is faced with managing a lot of challenges as well as a lot of resources in the warehouse, and the skills that are required for this management is key. So they are required to be responsive as well as cost efficient, and also align warehouse operations with current and long-term requirements of the global business strategy. So the challenge with warehouse management is that the pressure comes from above, and they are not in order to exercise professionalism, they are not required to mount that pressure on their employees in or on the warehouse staff in a negative way. They have to exercise some sense of professionalism in managing employees as well as the resources in the warehouse, despite the pressure that comes from top management or despite the pressure that comes from the top. So it should be noted that warehouse managers are faced with several trade-offs that they have to achieve a balance in. So even though they want to achieve efficiency, they cannot temper with certain other objectives that they are seeking to achieve. So they are faced with a certain level of dilemma, and they need to maintain a balance in those dilemmas or in those trade-offs. One of the trade-offs that they have to achieve a balance in is increased throughput versus reduction in labor cost. So throughput is about the ability, or the throughput is about the number of goods that are processed at a warehouse facility in a given period of or in a given cycle of time. So if you are seeking to maximize efficiency for the organization, it means you have to achieve increased throughput. But you cannot achieve this increased throughput when another goal of the organization is also to achieve a reduction in costs, because achieving increased throughput will come with increase in labor costs, but you cannot achieve this and achieve this at the same time. So this is a trade-off that they have to strike a balance between as they work in their day-to-day activities. And then the second trade-off is storage density versus quicker pallet extraction. So in a typical manufacturing warehouse, day in and out, a lot of goods are being produced, and the goods that are stored at the warehouse facility keeps on increasing with time. But because of this increase in goods that are stored in the warehouse, it means there is going to be a lot of storage going on in the warehouse. But another goal or another objective of warehousing is to maximize space so that pallets can be extracted with ease. And so it is noted that achieving this cannot be done when you also want to achieve this, and therefore there has to be a balance between the storage density as well as the pallet extraction likelihood. And then there is also manual versus automated processes. These warehouse managers also have to strike a balance between how they use manual labor and then how they adopt technology to facilitate warehouse operations, as you cannot dominantly use this because if you use manual labor, you are causing harm to the health and safety of employees. And if you use automated processes more too, you might be consuming organizational resources like electricity, and you might require a lot of skill. So they are faced with a trade-off in this as well. Then increased pick rate versus accuracy. So a typical busy warehouse where a lot of orders keep coming in, fulfillment centers where a lot of orders keep coming in, it means that warehouse staff need to quickly pick orders and process them for shipment. However, you cannot do so without risking accuracy. So in order to increase pick rate, there are going to be a lot of inaccurate orders. So you have to balance the rate of picking in the warehouse with the rate of accuracy that you seek to achieve in the warehouse. And that is also the role of a warehouse manager, to ensure that this balance is achieved in the warehouse operations. Then inventory holding cost versus cost of stock outs. So holding costs comes with a lot of holding inventory comes with a lot of costs, and therefore organizations might be tempted to reduce the number of inventory that they usually hold in the warehouse. But it should be noted that orders placed by customers cannot be predicted. So maybe if you reduce the number of inventory that you're holding in the warehouse, and then the orders splurge or the orders increase unexpectedly, it is going to increase your cost of stock out in the warehouse. So this is also another trade-off that warehouse managers need to manage, because they don't want to hold a lot of inventory, but the cost of running out of stock is also key in warehouse operations, and therefore balance has to be struck between these two. Then speed versus safety. Being quick or agile in fulfilling orders comes with the risk of not being safe, because in addition to people who are moving in the warehouse, we have trucks, forklift trucks, we have pallet trucks moving in the warehouse, and warehouse floors are usually slippery. So if you are trying to be quick in movement in your warehouse, you are risking the chance of not being safe in the warehouse, and this is also another trade-off. So there are challenges that warehouse managers face in their day-to-day operations in the warehouse, and some of these challenges that they are faced with the pressure to reduce operating costs, which doesn't come easily. Then they are also faced with the pressure to have shorter order lead time, as well as maintaining stock availability, and they are also faced with all these challenges. And it should be noted that some of these challenges, in order to manage them, they do not control all the issues that occur in managing these warehouse challenges. So this becomes quite a problem, because even though, let's take for instance, you want to achieve shorter order lead times and stock availability, the warehouse manager's role is to just receive goods that have been produced by the manufacturers or the production department. So if the production is not taking place, they cannot achieve this goal, and therefore this is quite a challenge in warehouse operations. And obviously, people management is one key problem that warehouse managers are faced, and some of the issues that warehouse managers face in people management is they are faced with the problem or the challenge of identifying, attracting, and retaining good supervisors, first line managers, and team leaders. They are also faced with the challenge of retaining and attracting new employees. There is also a challenge of an aging and constantly changing workforce in warehouse operations. Then there's the challenge of identifying training needs, whether forklift driving, and because of this problem, they are also faced with this problem, because if people are constantly leaving the warehouse operations, it becomes difficult as to which areas that you have to train them, because if you train a forklift driver and they get that skill, and the next 1 week they leave, it means they become quite devastated into what you are supposed to do in delivering your warehouse management roles. So these are all some of the people management challenges that warehouse managers face. Thank you.